Hi there! Welcome to another conversation video. This is the first one of this year, and I think I only did one last year. I've been doing these less and less frequently. I don't know why, it's just sometimes it's difficult to find the time, even though this won't take me long at all to do. It's not part of my routine, so then it takes more, it takes it more mentally for me to actually get going with it. Like right now, right before I started recording this video, it was just like, do I really feel like doing it right now? I don't know. And I know this. Just get started. Just get started, VikzeLink, and it will work out fine. It's just me talking, and it's nothing else. Barely any editing. Just cut away the little silent stuffs, and it will be done. And that's it. It's a very simple video to make. Anyway, not gonna talk about the video, gonna talk about the topic of the video. So, I do consider myself a nerd. In a positive way. To me, that it is a positive term. It's never been a negative term to me. And my if you go to big movie series and franchises, my favorite one is Lord of the Rings. I also really like Pirates of the Caribbean and Harry Potter, but also Star Wars. It's not my favorite. I know a lot of people completely adore Star Wars and it's their favorite thing ever. For me, it's fun and I like it, but it's not one of those big mega favorite franchises. And when it comes to favorite Star Wars, most people probably, at least older people, I guess, they have the movies from the original trilogy. I think they're fine, just a bit old. But for me, my favorite Star Wars movie is The Phantom Menace, which a lot of people, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, a lot of people at least used to think it was the worst one. Then I heard for a while that some other people said, no, Attack of the Clones is actually the worst one. I heard for a little while. And then for the past couple of years, as the new trilogy, the sequel trilogy, I guess people call it, now they're saying, oh no, those are bad, and the prequels are actually quite good in comparison. It's just all movies, and I think most of them are good. I do agree, the sequels came out a bit weird because they kept changing direction, and they had to patch things up by the end. But I've only seen those movies once each, so I'm not gonna go further into that. But yeah, Phantom Menace. A lot of people keep bringing up that it's boring and it's not good and blah 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 blah. And to me, I guess part of the reason why it's my favorite Star Wars movie is because it's the first Star Wars movie I saw as a kid. I saw that one first, Phantom Menace, then I saw the original trilogy in order, then Attack of the Clones, and then in order as they came out after that. But to me, Phantom Menace is just, even as a kid, I was not bored by the, trade talk, as people say, and the Senate and diplomacy stuff. To me, even as a kid, I found this. I didn't understand it all when I was a kid, but I understood that it was important to the story, which it is. It is important to the story, and I wasn't bored by it. And then also another big complaint people have is Jar Jar Binks, which today I feel like I don't really care. And when I was a kid, I thought it was hilarious. It was a very funny character. And I couldn't understand why people didn't like him. I know my dad thinks he's a bit over the top still. And I get it. I get that you don't like it, but it's not that bad really. Just stop caring so damn much. And then I think the third big thing that people don't like is just the dialogue, how it's written. And that I do agree with the prequel trilogy. The dialogue is a bit clunky at times. probably should have been viewed or like checked an extra time and maybe fixed a little bit. But it's still, it works. It works fine. It's a fine movie. And it has Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon, still to this day, is my favorite Jedi. Probably my favorite Star Wars character, actually. It's just, to me, that is what like a Jedi really should be. He's not evil in any way, but he's not like mustn't even look at evil stuff. Like, he's logical. He's just feels like a great person, and he happened to have a bit of bad luck that he faced Darth Maul, and he happened to end up alone in that moment, and that his particular... I'm not that big into Star Wars, as I mentioned. I just know that there are different types of lightsaber combat, and his style happened to be the one that's weak to the style that Darth Maul was using. And so that's the big main reason why he lost. He ended up alone, and it's like if he was a water type Pokemon and ended up against an electric type all alone, when he had not something that would be super effective, but like, I guess a fighting type? I don't know. Who could have helped him, but the laser door thingies, which I still don't know what they were and why they were there. Even that fight, what kind of big like facility did it take place in? Because it started out in the hangar, and then they went into that place. I don't know what that room is. Or giant facility, more like, it's not really a room. Also, the pod racing is great, and I thought it was so cool. It was in I think it was one of the episodes of, because I've been watching some of the series, and last year's Book of Boba Fett, there was that one episode where the Mandalorian guy came back and he got his new ship, and some of those areas he flew by when testing his ship was the racetrack from the pod race. I thought that was such a cool little detail that they put in. But I also feel like, and I felt for years, a lot of the people that hated on the movie over the years have been people who were kids or teenagers when the first trilogy came out, and they loved it so much, and they like built it up in their heads, and then when they watched this one, which would still be slightly aimed towards kids, because that's what Star Wars has always done, then they were disappointed because it hadn't aged with them, and they were thinking they wanted more seriousness and, I guess, more action in a way. Like, they'd rather have a simple plot with more action, because as it is, the plot is a bit more complicated in the prequel trilogy. It can be difficult to follow along, I guess, if it's your first time watching it, because you have to understand that Palpatine is trying to work inside the system to get to a position of power, and all the different things he does to do that. And I think that's really cool, but a lot of people think it's just nah. And I would like to see more, like, now that Disney owns Star Wars, and, well, they haven't really done movies in a long while, but they're doing a lot of series instead. I think it would be cool to see more, like, pre-Empire stuff. Because now everything is just during the Empire, or right after the Empire. And I'm a bit bored of that. I like the world from the prequel series, and I would like to see more from it. I know it's like in a lot of games, I think, but I don't really play Star Wars games, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk that much more longer on this topic. It was just something I had planned. I wrote this topic down a long time ago in my like list for conversation videos. I just wanted to mention that, yeah, Phantom Menace, which a lot of people don't like, is my personal favorite Star Wars movie. And that was it. And I wanted to explain some things I like about it and things people tend to say is bad about it and sort of defend it in a way. I don't know. That's just all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! Boom! Yay! Äntligen sång! Hey! Boom boom! Yay! Watch some videos! Hey! Boom!